player, I am loading the equipment overview.
Hey guys, TK1138 again. 2 videos, 2 days in a row. What is that? So first off, I know it's been a while since I posted a video before the one yesterday, which was the number 16 Eisbrecher. My computer died. Whole thing. All the data gone. All the editing software, all my videos. It was a really huge loss for me because I had like a year and a half of SCNC footage, all my End War footage, including the stuff I hadn't released yet, like The Last Stand from the perspective of a zombie, and about 12 hours into a 5v5 SCNC tournament video edit. So I was pretty crushed. It took me a while to kind of motivate myself to get back up, but here we go. I also want you guys to know I listen. And a lot of you commented yesterday on my video or sent me messages like, "Hey TK, great video, but why the hell didn't you fire the thing?" Very good question. I feel a lot better today because I managed to knock out 2 more projects last night and managed to clean my shop, but really I just wanted to finish this blaster up, knock out a quick video so I could send it off to Ray, which is still here. And I neglected a really important part of that video, and a lot of you guys called me on it, and I want you to know I'm listening. So here's the other half of the video, which is going to feature the internals of the blaster and the firing for the Eisbrecher. So here's the Eisbrecher Blaster, putting it on a towel because anytime I'm working with a shell that I've already painted, I'm going to put it on a towel to make sure I don't damage the paint job. Now I left this little aspect, I fastened this to this little bar, so that way if you want to, you can remove it and see that awesome Hooligan Riot cage inside. You guys will get a better look at that once I've opened up the shell, but now I'm going to go ahead and do the disassembly so we can get back inside of it, show you guys the internals, put it all together, and then do a firing demo. For those of you who've never actually done or messed with a vector kit, it's a lot of parts. Of course, this is the blaster without all the extra stuff on there, except, you know, of course, the motor cover, which this one is epoxied on there, and the battery tray. But other than that, it's a much smaller blaster. I mean, the vector kit is expensive, and if you guys see how much stuff is actually in it, it makes sense why. This is all the parts that just actually go on the blaster between the CTRL stock, the F10555 stock adapter, the actual vector body, the Picatinny top rail, the top rail connector, the front barrel, and the extra motor cover and their little side rail. There's another side rail piece that's still actually fastened to the blaster, and I'm going to leave that one there, but this is a lot for one kit, including, of course, the stock. So jumping right in, you can see with all the shell stuff removed what the internals look like. First things you might notice is, of course, the aluminum Hooligan Riot cage and Riot wheels. It goes into an aluminum worker barrel and a little bit of that plastic coating to help keep it nice and snug. It does have the MTB Neo Hellcats in there. Originally this build was going to be Fangs, but because I kind of dragged my feet and it took me about a month and a half, 2 months to get to this, we were able to go ahead and get the MTBs and put them in there. It was a really nice timing. From there we have a side-mounted voltmeter, which is wired into the stock switch from the maglock, but it's a great switch in here. Usually I like to mount them to the jam door release. You'll notice that's not here because it's really hard to open a jam door in a vector kit because it's got a tactical rail on top. Kind of pointless. Other than that, Bobo Lolo style rev trigger and 3D printed extended mag release. Now this trigger is not the trigger that's going to stay in here. He actually has a trigger he just recently got that we're going to put in this blaster, but for pictures and everything, I quickly threw some vinyl dye on a stock trigger. Obviously you can see a little bit of the wear here, so I'm not super thrilled with that, but again, it's going to be swapped out relatively soon. Other than that, all the internals are pretty much as you expect them, and this runs off of a 3S 1000 milliamp hour 65C discharge Turnigy graphene LiPo. Now that's a whole mouthful. It's one of these. These are the batteries I usually use for 3S. I also have the 2S version that I use in my XP180 and Michel 2.0 builds. You know, they're a little bit more expensive, but I'm really glad I've invested in these things before these MTB Neo series motors come out because those motors are very hungry. And to have that high C discharge is always a really good idea. Anyway, now we're going to go ahead and put all the components back together and we'll do our firing test. Now, as I mentioned, the Vector kit has an absolute ton of pieces. So, it definitely is not just the fastest one to put together. I've actually had a lot of practice putting this kit together. But, yeah, you definitely want to make sure you got it all right before putting the whole kit on, because it is a lot. That's for sure. There we go. So now with the installation of the battery in here, all we have to do is insert our mag, voltmeter comes on, and we are ready to move on to the firing demo. So I'm not entirely sure how well the sound is going to come through this camera, but it's worth noting because really with this aluminum flywheel cage and these Neo Hellcats, it makes quite a nice sound. So I'm going to back up from the camera a little bit, give you a little bit of a range fire so you can hear the motors. Sounds really great, especially that popping sound that you get with the metal cages. And here we go. Got 8 rounds loaded in my favorite Worker 15, and let's give it a shot. Nice. I love that wind down. So anyway, for those of you who are asking about the internals and the firing, there you go. I hope that answers a bunch of questions, and maybe next time I'll remember to put all that together in one video. So anyway guys, this is TK1138. Nerf well, my friends.